T. Gray and MK, you are now cleared for flight school takeoff.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
But then let's get down to business. It's that time to talk about how to build it. Dr. Latrice, if you can wait 24 hours, no, wait until like Monday or Tuesday. Okay, guys? Wait till Monday or Tuesday to make changes in your travel schedule. Okay. Let us give us just a little bit to figure it out, and then we'll let you know. Okay. And we'll let you know quick. All righty. How to build it big like a diamond. You know, we were in the office this week talking about what are we going to talk about on flight school this week? We've had some really good flight schools the past couple of weeks. We've had some really quick flight schools the past couple of weeks, and we're going to try to keep that in mode. But one of the things that, you know, when I have people ask me questions, it's like they're trying to put all the pieces together, right? They're trying, and what I've realized in having built a couple of diamond businesses myself and having had thousands, tens of thousands of people in my teams, is that for most folks, that thing that's missing is this one little thing that allows them to put it all together. You know, it's like you're putting a piece of furniture together, and there's that one screw that if it's not there, it's not going to be a sofa. You know, if it's not there, it's not going to be a bookshelf. It's just going to be a pile of wood. But you have that one piece, right? And it's that piece that completes a person and how they attack their business and how they work it as a diamond. You know, I know when in me personally, that one piece was learning to see this and treat this as seriously as I would treat any other business, right? I mean, I had personally come off of 17 years of corporate success. I was really hardworking. I was super diligent. I dotted my I's. I crossed my T's. I got in early. I left late. I went the extra mile. I had that kind of a mindset. And when I first got into network marketing, I didn't have that. It was, you know, I saw it. It was kind of, you know, the way it was presented, even though it was in a hotel meeting, you know, it wasn't as formal as, you know, the companies that I worked for. It wasn't as rigid. It wasn't as structured. And because of that, I treated it like that. I was like, okay, this is supposed to be fun and supposed to just spit out some money. And I found myself very disappointed when I didn't make money. And I couldn't figure out, I'm like, well, I'm really good. I'm really disciplined. I'm really good at business. You know, why am I not making money? And when I met Mr. Bugs in 2004, as I'm sitting there talking with him and as I'm watching him, and it wasn't anything that he said, you know, in retrospect, it was more so that I watched him and he was very serious about this. He was very serious about this as a business. And what I saw was a very serious businessman. What I saw was a guy who was the CEO of his network marketing business. And that is what clicked in me. From that moment, I treated my network marketing business as seriously as if I was the CEO of ExxonMobil or IBM or Microsoft or any of these big companies that you know and respect. And when I did that, everything changed for me. I cared about the numbers. I cared about the events. I cared about how many people. I kept track of everything. I became very competitive. My discipline went to a whole nother level, and I started to get results. I started to get insane results, and I started to attract people who respected that in me. People who wanted to make money in network marketing, but they were looking for someone that they felt was competent enough to lead them to the promised land. I became that person, and I started to attract people who were looking for that. And the rest is the rest, as they say. So for me, that was my how to build it like a diamond. And, I had to do a couple of restarts in the same company or in a new company. And it even impacted how I started or how I truly launched my business. I think so many people throw the word launch around lightly. They misuse that. So much of what most people do cannot be classified as a launch. It can only be classified as a start, right? And that's okay. But let's save the word launch for people who are really launching. Because that's what I learned to do. I learned to go flat out. I learned to take 6 showers in 30 days, because I was launching this business. I learned how to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the same room and just be on the phone, on the phone, on the phone, literally strategically working time zones. Okay, I'm gonna start in Europe because they're up early. I'm gonna start calling my folks on the East Coast of the United States, and I'll work my way to the middle, and I go back. Now I'm calling California because they're still up, and then going back out further west from there. But I got to tell you guys, that is, yeah, Tierra's like 6 showers, literally, bro. Like it was bad. I was stinky, I was funky, but you couldn't smell it through the phone, right? So, and I'm exaggerating, of course, but you guys get the general idea, right? What I'm trying to say is everything else became secondary in how I launched. So those are just some of my random points. What I want to do is I want to bring on some friends of mine that I'm really excited about, because each of them, while they're very different, some are men, some are women, they're different ages, different nationalities, different ethnic backgrounds, different personal histories. The one thing that they all have in common is what? They have all gone diamond. So let me introduce you guys to some really good friends of mine that I have incredible respect for. I want to start all the way out in Europe with one of my newest brothers. I love this guy. He's just super smooth. He's crazy focused. He doesn't make a lot of noise, but he makes a lot of results.
Yeah.
I love that about him.
We got to spend some time with him in Cancun on the last day.
We did, by the pool, right? And he's just a cool cat. Even in losing his wallet and his passport, he was calm. I was just so impressed at how calm he was, because I would have been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but he was just steady Eddie. And so let me introduce you guys all the way from Bulgaria, none other than Diamond Vaso Kranov. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's going on? Yes, I do remember already you introduced me with that story again.
I think he's in Denmark, right?
Well, yeah, but he's from Bulgaria. And I don't,
okay.
He's one of those people, him, Marianne, Pat Pamplin, you never know where these folks are going to be in the world. They're just moving around so much. What's up, Vasil? You doing well?
Doing extremely good, extremely good. It's really a wonderful day over here, and I'm really ready to rock and roll. And really, thank you really for inviting me for the flight school. And really, I always really feel honored, and thank you so much for the work that you put in alongside with Mark, and always really hosting these calls. I really appreciate the responsibility and helping our team members and everybody around the company.
That is absolutely wonderful. Well, let's introduce my next friend, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to go all the way to Indianapolis, Indiana, to the heartland of the United States of America. And I want to introduce you to one of my younger fitter brothers. This is a young guy. He has the eye of the tiger. Another quiet storm. Not a lot of noise, not a lot of bragging. One of those I can show you better than I can tell you kind of guys. Let me introduce to you all Diamond Tierra Edwards. T, what's happening?
What's going on, Big T? How you feeling?
I'm good. You're coming to us from the stadium.
Hey,
The championship.
that's what we
Mark,
do,
I want
man.
one of those. Mark, I want one of those.
Okay.
I want a background like that with Ibüümerang and Trade Buddy. on it, and I go for less.
Okay.
Can we get that for next Saturday?
Yes, I'll tee it up.
Awesome, 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 man. I like
I'll
that
make a
one.
note.
There, you're not gonna
Appreciate
be
that,
the only
dog.
one standing in the championship there.
Hey, we all champions in here. That's what we doing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We building
Yes,
stadiums
sir.
around here. So look, sold out stadiums.
Say it again.
Sold out stadiums.
Oh, I love it. I loves it. I loves it. All right, folks, let me introduce you to another friend of mine, also from Bulgaria by way of Washington, D.C. metro area, DMV, that area of the world, the power center of the United States. And that's a fitting place for this powerful lady. She has got an incredible history. I was watching on her Instagram. She did a post of from whence she has come, kind of her timeline, and all the different jobs and businesses that she's been in. From being I think she was a restaurant worker at one time, and just kind of just progressing, and I thought it was a great post because sometimes we look at people where they are and we think that they're an overnight success, and we fail to realize that it has been a journey, which include this journey even included some fitness competitions, and that's why she's so fit. Let me introduce you to Black Diamond Desi Leapova. What's up, Des? How you doing? And she's not there, Desi. I was looking at her picture. Actually, I did go out of order. I was working my way up the rank chain, and I went out of order. Oh, I got to open your video?
Yes, it doesn't allow me to start my video.
I thought we made you
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're not a co-host. So sorry.
Ah,
There you go. There you go. Drum roll, please.
awesome. What is going
Oh,
on?
man.
Everybody doing? How are you guys doing? I appreciate you for the invite. Just like
Yeah, whole
that,
lot better looking in here.
yeah, I feel honored and privileged to be on this call today and share the good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate you. And you know what? You texted me something about being camera ready. You did that. You did that, girl. Yes, ma'am.
I'm all right.
Yes, yes. Well, speaking of camera ready, I want to bring up our next diamond. And I did go rank out of order. Desi, I was trying to save you for last, but I was looking at your picture and it just flowed. But I am going to go to our queen mother. This is a lady that my respect level just goes up every time I talk to her. Her work ethic is unparalleled. And it is, there's no question in as to why this lady is successful at everything that she does and why she's such an incredible leader. She truly is a CEO. And she handles one of the things that I really respect about this rock star from Hotlanta, Georgia, is the way she is navigating and holding down all the different roles that she has in life, whether it's wife, whether it's mother, whether it's leader. She is getting it done. And if there's, if there's someone to follow, it's a person who knows how to make things happen. And Jackie Pippins, Blue Diamond, you certainly know how to make it happen. So please turn on your camera and come on screen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you, Mr. T. Gray?
I am great, and I am confused. See, this is a whole Black America thing. Black women will change their hair on you in a hot second. Jackie, you didn't even tell me you don't went to braids.
This is my Mexico hairdo.
You go, girl. That's what
I'm still in Mexico.
You're still in Mexico. You're still in Mexico. I love it. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you. Thierry's laughing. He understands the Black America, the Black experience. Come home and mom is like, oh, is that you? Okay, just change your hair. All right. So here we go, guys and ladies. We have our incredible panel here. Let's start with Vasil. These guys have had some time to think about it, like a whole hour to think about this. And they don't need an hour. We could wake them up out of their bed and say, how'd you go diamond? And they could tell you. So Vasu, you're up first. How do you build it big like a diamond?
Yes, you're very good at really pointing out, how much an individual can have, right? But really, when you really reach out to me at that time, I was really thinking like behind, really in my head, like what are really the qualities that I do have that really get made really, let's say, made me diamond, or really across the journey, and really etc., that maybe differentiate from others, because we are right now, full diamonds right now, really in the picture, right? And everybody of us has a, maybe different qualities, different personality, and different things that something, really outstretches them and really makes them who they are. And I was really thinking about that, about who I am, and what are really the qualities that how to build up as a diamond. We have that, right? And one of those things was exactly what you actually began when you were sharing your story, which was you really went to the Toto, and when you really met Houghton Bucks. And I really was thinking like, this is really one of the main qualities that I do have as well, which is really tracking and really following up, because really tracking is really something that I have really observed in the past maybe a year or two, that even before last year in October, when we introduced the rank up system, I was already, doing a lot of those. I was really having a whole different notebook about how to track myself, because tracking, when to really get back to the people, when to get back to the prospects that haven't said yes, no. Right now we're in the gold zone, and I even had a call with one of my team members today, and I said, but what is really the tracking? He's really close to a rank today, and I said, what are really your options? And he doesn't really know about his options. I said, that's why you're not really tracking yourself. That's why, you need to keep track of who have you talked to, who have really said to you that maybe after 3 months, they will be ready. Do you keep track every single thing in your notebook? And you know what? This is really one of the when you really begin building big, you need to know who is ready after university, who is really ready after a year, who is ready after 3 months, and keep track of everything. And really rank up is really a great system when it comes down to that. Why? Because you can put the follow-up at the exact same time that when they have told you over the phone. Either, let's say, they finish university after 3 months or whatever the example could be. That's a great tracking system that you can follow. It's really alongside involved a lot with how you can really be a businessman. Because if you open a restaurant, and I always really even tell that to my team, that, but if you have a restaurant and you have a pizza place, well, if they ask you really, let's say your boss asks you, how much ingredients do you need to make that pizza? Do you need cheese? Do you need tomato sauce? And what are really the ingredients? And if you say, I don't really know what are the ingredients, then this is the exact same example of how you can be a businessman. If you don't know the ingredients, here are not the ingredients, but they are the people that are really in your maybe pipeline, that are ready to get started, or whenever they can. That's one of the things that, as you said, treat this business as it is in everything. The trading, it's a business too. You need to keep track of your mistakes. You need to keep track of what you have done wrong, right? To improve. And this is a business here in what we do in iBüüM. You need to keep track of everything that happens in your organization. And this has really been a quality of me that I have really became extremely good at, because even in times where I do maybe need a little bit of more volume to scratch up the month, or maybe to reach my goal, I always go back in my notebook, and I always find the missing volume in the notebook. I always find throughout the people that I have talked to that missing volume, and that could be really a component that you always really find the volume when you are searching for it, because when you are really searching for something, you always find for that. So that's really one of the points that I would say that for myself has extremely helped me in many situations and improved even myself as a personality to become a businessman, business builder, and etc. etc.
I love it. I absolutely love it. There's so much fire in what you just shared, Vasil. And how many of you heard Vasil just say that when he's at the end of the month and he's looking for that volume, he always is able to go back and find it in his notebook? How many of y'all heard that? How many of you guys got that? Right? That's one of those golden nugget clues that is so easy for people to miss, but that's a difference maker right there for people, Vasil. And I saw in the chat, Marianne wrote in the chat, she's like, nobody touches that notebook. That notebook is sacred. That notebook is radioactive. It's got an alarm built on it. So you leave the notebook alone. So that was just one of the big takeaways that I got from there. So Vasil said, if you can treat it like a business, track everything, use your tools, and write everything down. Way to go, sir. Appreciate
And
you.
use rank up.
And he said, use rank up, right?
Yep.
Rank up. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Robina Patterson says, she said she loves that you take note of your failures also.
Well,
Right.
how can you improve if you don't really take notes from your failures, right? Even when a person really quits your organization, maybe it could be a mistake of you that you have done, but you know what? I always have the mindset of they will come back. So I put them again in the notebook.
You quit the business, you go back in the notebook. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, let's go to the stadium. And we got our champion sitting right there in the middle of the lights. Diamond Tier. People wanted to know, how do you build like a diamond? The floor is yours.
Man, honestly, I got a lot of points, but I like to keep things pretty simple. And it really just comes down to, number one, focus. I realize that a lot of people in our business and in this industry, they lack focus. They're very distracted with what everybody else is doing, when really you should be focused on you and the business that you're building, right? And when it comes down to it, I don't really focus on what everybody else is doing. Not to say that I'm in competition or things of that nature, but I can't help what everybody else is doing. I don't have the fear of missing out what someone else is doing. What I'm doing is helping me progress moving forward, and the people that's around me. So number one, when you think about building this business, you got to focus on your goals and the people that's around you that's helping you achieve those goals, right? So I would say, number one, starve your distractions and focus on the business that pays you. Stop being distracted so much. Let go of some things and some people that's distracting you from what you want to achieve. Focus on the income producing activities, period, point blank. Especially at the end of the month, we can all get distracted and say, hey, the end of the month is here, I'm gonna just let it go. No, you don't run to a goal, you run through the goal. And at the end of the month, this is the time where you don't slow down, you keep running through. You keep running through. Right there, I'm working with a small group right now. We're focused on finishing this month strong. Why? Because they're close to a rank. I don't care how big or how small it is. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you get an accomplishment for this month, right? And so, the IPAs is very simple. Focus on the one-on-one calls, right? Focus on doing the three-way calls with your leader. Make sure that you're still consistently closing out the month with your own opportunity, discovery calls, whatever you want to call them. You should always be exposing your business to the newest person, right? You should always be in that groove to build your business, right? I would say a huge thing is, when it comes to focus, have an urgency. When you don't have that urgency, how are you going to achieve your goals in a short period of time? How are you going to help the next person achieve their goals when you know that you have one? Right? And so, you know, I was talking to someone yesterday and they were saying, man, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Okay, cool. Where are you right now? Oh, I'm at this point. Okay, cool. What do you have set in place that's going to get you there? Do you have this call set up? Have you followed up with this individual? Have you done this? Have you done this? No, I haven't done this. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get that done right now. Let's focus on what matters most. Well, what about this? That don't matter right now. You told me your goal is this, right? A lot of us need that form of accountability. And if you don't have that accountability from your mentor or the community that you're in, you need to really sit down and evaluate what you're doing and what you're building and why you're building it, right? But also just honestly just following up. I think following up is always going to be the fortune that a lot of people are missing out. And, you know, you put yourself in a position where you're always following up with the newest person. I'm not saying, you know, contact them every single day, but you know what, for example, if somebody tells me no, cool. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna still contact you next week. I'm gonna still contact you next month. You know why? Because a no never means no. It just means not right now. And I'm thinking next opportunity. I can stop wasting my time talking to this person right now, and I can go and focus on talking to somebody who's actually looking for what I have. Right? So always constantly exposing, focus on you and your business and the business that pays you. Focus on serving other people, and you know, really just go from there. Collaborate with other people that are actually building. Don't get distracted with individuals that are just, you know, putting out, you know, hey, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. No, excuse me, I almost cuss. I almost had a T-grade moment. Like, go out there, serve people, get up. Bob Proctor would always say this. Sorry, and I know you're on here. Bob Proctor has a famous saying that we say all the time: "Law of Goya, get off your ass." Go out there and build your business. Sorry, Anna, but it's the truth. You got to go out there and build it. You can't build a solid name if you don't get any results, and you can't help other people build results. Mr. Bug just talked about on that post that he just made. If you got somebody who's a millionaire and they're saying they're a millionaire and they haven't helped someone else become a millionaire, is that somebody I really want to follow? So be that person, right? If you want to be a diamond, lead from the front. Do those small activities. Do the things you don't feel like doing, whether you get paid for it or not. Go out there and do it. Take initiative. Stop waiting for somebody else to walk your hand through and do all. No, there's a lot of things that us diamonds don't get help with, but guess what? We find out the problem. We find out a solution. Go and be a solution expert. Go and find a solution and then go and share it with the next person. Look, I go all day with this, but you know, I'm gonna just keep it short and simple. But I hope I brought some value to everybody. And I know Jackie and Desi about to add more fire to what I just put on. So, you know, let's get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. Let's finish this month off strong.
This dude then renamed a whole grocery brand. So in America, in the supermarket, if you go in the canned goods aisle, there's a brand called Goya, and they've got beans, they've got rice, they got all sorts of stuff. But it has now been totally reclaimed and repurposed so that it now means get off your ass. I love it, T. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You guys have been giving so many strong nuggets. One thing I want to make sure everybody got from Tierra is he said, don't get distracted. Stay focused, right? There's so much out there to get you distracted. You got, you know, like he said, other teams, what other people might be doing, you know, how this group is working versus how your group is working. And everybody's always kind of looking at, oh, I want to do what they're doing. I want to do what they're doing. And they end up really not getting anything done because they're always changing, right? And then you have the people who are in other companies. You got people who, guess what, folks? Here's just a fact of life in network marketing. People will leave and go to another company. That's just part of the deal. So don't get distracted when they do. Now you can entertain yourself and keep track and count how many companies they've been in since they left, like 4 right now. And anyway, I'm sorry, some squirrel. So here's what I need to do. Let me get off of this and go to our next diamond champion. None other than Blue Diamond, Jackie Pippins. Jackie, you've been a diamond and a diamond maker for a long time. People want to know how to go diamond, how to build it like a diamond. What's the answer?
All right. I'm just so glad that I went before Black Diamond Desi. All right. All right. So I am so excited. So, Mr. T. Gray, when you called me this morning, I started jotting down some notes here. So, one of the first things that I want to say on how to build like a diamond. Number one, I think this is the big secret here. We got to build internally. We got to get you right first before we can build any business, before we can move further. We got to get the mess that's going on in your life. We got to get rid of that mess in order for us to move forward, right? If your life is cluttered, it is so hard to build a business because your mind is going 40 north and you cannot concentrate, you cannot focus. So we got to build you internally first. We got to get that together first. And when we get that together, we can start moving on to the next phase of our business. So once we get the internal correct, we'll be able to build a business correctly. All right. So how to build a business? Number one, first and foremost, there's no balance. I keep hearing folks, or I gotta be back. There's no balance when you want to build a business. It's just not. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to make some quick decisions. Just like the Atlanta thing that's going on. I just got the call last night. I have to quick think. We got to think and make some adjustments, right? So it's just no balance in building your business. Now, once you get to where Mr. Bugs and Mrs. Bugs is, maybe there's a little bit more balance in your life and some of the things that you can do now. But until we get there, there's no balance. All right. Secondly, we cannot make excuses. If you want to build this business big, you cannot make no excuses. We got to learn how to make adjustments. I see people all the time making excuses why they can't do this, why they can't do that. And then it normally it comes down to Mr. T. Gray and Mark being lazy, right? Lazy. And so we start making excuses. We have things going on. We have family sickness, work-related, kids' activities, your car not working, I'll finish that later. And we start being comfortable, those things like that. You cannot build a business big when you do things like that. All right. And then we got to take the good with the bad. There comes bad with building this business. All right. I mean, we're happy and everything is going great. We're excited. We think we got the best company in the world. But then when something goes south, we ready to run. We start listening to other folks in our ears. We just start doing crazy, crazy things, right? You won't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything T. Gray does, everything Holton. I do not agree with everything, but that's okay. Nothing is 100%. Nothing at all is 100%. This is why, you guys, we got to take the good with the bad. It's just going to happen, right? Listen, T. Gray and I, we talk all the time about the good and the bad, right? And some folks run the other way. They get over there on the other side and they still dealing with the same issues that was over here. but they couldn't deal with the good and the bad over here. We want to run. I say all the time when I was in my previous company, before this company, there was a lot of leaders that left for whatever reasons they left. I stayed there. I stayed there. The company gave away a brand new Porsche. I was able to get that because I took the good with the bad. Everything is going to have good with bad. It does not matter, but you must stick and stay. You must stick with something, you guys. You cannot keep running. You got to remember this. You got to take the good with the bad. You cannot make excuses, and you got to build internally, and there's no balance here.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I literally cannot believe that you don't agree with every decision that I make. No,
I
I'm
want to commend you. I want to commend you, Jackie. When your car got stolen, you didn't let that affect you in any way. You didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some real deep wisdom. And when you said go internal, I'm like, this is about to get hot in here. And that's really it, because I think people fail to do what you said. They fail to make that quality decision that says, hey, I'm going to plant my feet here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build this. They fail to make that quality decision, Jackie, and say, hey, I'm going to do this for the next 3 to 5 years, right? That's why we even have to like kind of dumb it down for folks and say make an 18-month commitment, but most people make an 18-minute commitment, right? And so the take the good with the bad, man, that has just so many. That's just life, isn't it? Right? That's life. That's every relationship that we have with other people. I mean, people just, if we would just take the advice that you gave, it would be so incredible. And you're right. I mean, people go and they get upset when things don't work, and they go into another company, and they realize that the challenges that they were facing here, those are just business challenges, period. You can't find a company that doesn't have to weather these very same storms. What does the book say? God makes it rain and sunshine on everybody. Right?
And T.
So
Gray, we know someone that has a job and this just happened to them. They're not getting their paycheck. Remember, we discussed that. This is a job. This is not a business. They're behind on their paychecks every single week. So it's not just happening with businesses, it's also happening in the job field.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like you, at some point in time, what did you say? I like the way you said it. She said, you gotta stick with something eventually. Eventually, you got to say, you know what? This is it. I'm going to build it here, period, full stop. Right. So I love that. So much great stuff. And I've been taking notes like crazy. And I see the energy popping out of my center square on my screen, which is down in the DMV. And Desi, you've I meant what I said. I was really impressed by your timeline that you put of yourself, and it really helped me to appreciate you even more. People wanted to know how to build it like a diamond. What kind of advice do you have for them?
Oh, I got a lot of advices. How much time do I have?
You got whatever time you need.
Me and Mrs. Jackie are on the same frequency. First of all, Tigray, how this post was inspired and by what? I was on a call with Peppy, and shout out to Peppy because now she's speaking English building globally. So you guys got no excuses. 10 months ago, this woman knew zero English. All right. So anyway, and her potential, business partner was saying, well, you've always been famous and you just know how to do things. And I'm like, man, and what I shared was only 14 years, right? I mean, my last 14 years here in the States, but nobody knows, like, we literally started from the bottom and now we're here. So anyway, joke aside, now I want to take you guys a little bit backwards. You know, everything that each and every one of those diamonds share with you is true. But diamond is a feeling. You got to make a decision. It starts with one decision first, and you just know. You know, it's like, it's a feeling that you have. It is a feeling that you have that I believe nobody on, you know, on this line can really explain to you what it feels like, right? But it is a feeling that you have that you know it's going to happen. How it's going to happen, you have no freaking clue. And the reason why I'm saying this, Mr. Tigre, because I'll never forget when we were in Miami and, you know, we met Mr. Bucks for the first time, 10th of April. And I mean, I was still somewhat new into this industry. What I believe it was like 4 to 5 months, you know, newborn in this industry, right? And when I met Mr. Bugs and the energy in that room, I didn't know the company's name, what you guys had to offer, but I just knew Diamond, it was a cool deal to do. And I knew that if I got to Diamond, I will have more of his time, right? Because I knew that you become the average of 5 people, right? So I wanted to be around him, around Mrs. Bugs, because I knew once I was in that room, my entire life was going to be taken care of, not because of what they're going to do for me, but what I'm going to learn being around them and how I can implement it in my life, you know, in my life. So it wasn't even money. It wasn't even fame. It was, I wanted to associate myself with those 2 individuals and the rest of the diamonds, obviously. Right? So it is a feeling. And when you make that decision, I want you to get ready. Because, man, you'll be tested, okay? Your whole life. Mrs. Jack, you mentioned a little bit, you know, you gotta get it together. I agree, but I also disagree, because even if you feel like you have it together, the universe will test you, and, you know, you will start having this whole reconstruction, because you've never been a diamond by this time, you know, by this period of time. And you got to become that person. You got to grow through the process. Like Mr. Bug says, only diamonds understand what diamond is, because you've never been inside the slow pressure cooker.
Wow.
Right? You've never experienced that. You don't know what the heat feels like. But if you're not ready to get inside the kitchen and be around the heat, don't just call it out, because one, making a decision, now your mentor, upline, whoever you're working with, will make sure you hit it. Why? Because, you know, just calling out being a diamond and not hitting your numbers, because, you know, Mr. Bugs always say, you know, you got to know your numbers in order for you to grow your numbers. Right? So it's not just a wishing, you know, thing. You got to hit a certain amount of numbers every single day. Right? Because at the end of the day, we're in business. This is not just a wishing deal. You know, all I want for Christmas is to be a diamond. You know, it doesn't happen this way. You got to put in some leg work, sweat work, blood work. When I say this, I really mean it. Mr. Jackie knows, you know, me going diamond, I made a decision. You know, obviously I wanted to go diamond my first month, but I didn't stop until I actually hit it. So the fact that you didn't achieve your goal this month, you got to continue. Tigre, you said you were on calls after calls after calls, and you really like yourself inside that room. And I know what it feels like, because I've done it too. And my mom was here, right, for 6 months, and she didn't see my face. She's like, all you're doing is being on calls. And I say, yes, I am. And you are too. But all you do is gossiping, and I'm making money.
Oh.
I said, I'm getting paid being on the calls, right? You guys know, you know, how your parents but going diamond is literally trading your current life for that. I wouldn't even say title, but, you know, for that business that you asked for, and for the level of responsibility that comes with being diamond. You know, each and every diamond brought a very good points. I'm not going to repeat them, but going diamond is a new level of responsibility. And you won't be able to take on the title and carry that title if you don't burn through hell. And you know, this may sound weird, but you got to build some thick skin if you want to have a, you know, a team of 5,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, because now you're going to have to help all of those individuals solve their problems, right? In order for you to help them, guess what you got to do? You got to fail forward. You got to learn your own mistakes. You got to, you know, like obviously learn how to solve your problems on your way to diamond. And yes, your family is not going to understand what you're doing. You got to make up your mind and be okay with it. You got to say no to everything that doesn't align with diamond. Okay? Meaning, if there's a weekend outing, if I called you, let's say you said you're going diamond and it's my birthday weekend and I called you and I say, hey, get on this airplane. You know, I'll pay for your flight ticket. I'll pay for a hotel. Come celebrate with me. You have to have the guts to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Even though I may be your top leader, whatever, you got to have the guts to say no, because my birthday will be, again, next year. All right? But you made a decision to go diamond. So everything that doesn't align, all of the activities that are, you know, going to distract you on your way to diamond, you got to say no. So your main thing is work, 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 calls. You're asking what the schedule is. I believe T. Gray said it the best. You're not even sleeping, but, you know, if you get some sleep, because in your sleep, what you're really doing is like, you're feeling like you're on calls. How many of you have, like, how many times, like, you're like, oh my God, did I do this call? Oh my God. And then not only that, but obviously you're keeping track of your numbers because you know, you don't really trust your team, just being honest. And you're going to have a lot of people that are going to quit, and you have to be okay with that. But also, you know, they're going to make room for the ones that are going to, you know, go to diamond with you. Because remember, new faces will take you new places. So let's say you've achieved sapphire, you achieved ruby, you've achieved emerald. You know, the people that I went black with are not going to be the people that I'm going to go prezi with. And that goes for every single diamond here on the line, and also every single person that's in this company. So moral of the story is prepare yourself to work. Also prepare yourself, maybe your family members. You know, like, this is not negative, but it really will happen. Family members, you have family members in the ER. My son was in the ER multiple times while I was doing calls. Mrs. Jackie knows. Not only that, right? Like, you know, I mean, I literally went through hell. I was burning going diamond. But making up your mind, you got to know that at the end of the month, it's all going to be worth it, because you're just being prepped to receive what you asked for. You know, because if you did receive it today, you wouldn't know what to do with it, right? You may receive it, but God will take it away because you won't know how to cater and how to protect it and how to protect his people, right? So this is all I have to say. I mean, there's a lot that comes with going diamond, but make a decision, stick to that decision, like Mrs. Jackie said. The reality is, each and every one of us here on the line, we are CEOs of our own company, and you can't treat this business like a hobby, because you will continue on getting hobby results. You know, and I love what you said, Tigran and Mrs. Jackie, because even prior to this, you know, like me and my husband, you know, ran 2 businesses, and we've had so many challenges and losses. It's part of the business. And at the end of the day, if you don't take full responsibility of your own business here within this company, the company is doing everything that they can possibly do to help you build your business. But you got to go out there and share the opportunity. You know, it's not the company's job to share the opportunity with you. You're the business owner. You got to learn how to go and find investors to invest in your vision. Okay? That's what you got to do. And if you don't know how to do it, this is why you put them, the potential investors, on a 3-way call with your upline or the expert that you're working with. Because you know, if you don't know how to do it, you can go diamond by default just by using the system. It's very simple by using the system. Okay. But, you know, work always works. There's nothing motivational. Each and every person had a different experience going diamond. Mrs. Jackie got a flood. She was, you know, sick, and she still got that blue diamond done, right? I know that we don't talk a lot about, you know, what we go through. I wouldn't say go, but grow through. But each and every one of those individuals here on the line had some type of challenges, and there were major problems. But you don't pause your life because the universe, you know, will bring you a challenge. Because think about this: when was the last time you had no challenges in life? Right? It takes the exact same amount for you to be amount of energy for you to stay broke, and also for you to become successful. It's not harder for you to become successful. Okay? The exact same energy expenditure goes both ways, but you choose which way it is gonna go. Because staying broke sucks, right? Can we all agree? I've been there plenty of times. And if y'all can't say I agree in the chat, you're lying. Right? Staying broke. I need to see all of you in the chat say I agree. Right? Staying broke sucks. On your way to success, it's gonna be, I wouldn't say the word hard, but challenging, because you got to grow. But you will love you and your results afterwards. Okay? And if God gave you the vision, he'll give you the people. You got to stick to the process, though. That's it. That's it for me. Love you guys.
Okay. Well, alrighty then. I mean, just come out and smash it. Why don't you? I'm just over here like taking notes. And you started out with a mind-bending bomb. Think about this, folks. Only diamonds know what diamond is, right? And the reason why is because of that journey, because of all the things that Desi just said about your mindset and not allowing challenges to take you out, and this new level of responsibility of helping other people solve their problems and becoming this person who takes responsibility for everything. That fire walk, right? And it's funny you call it burning. How do you say it? Burn
through hell.
Burning through hell.
Burning through hell.
That is the feeling, though.
Right? Yeah.
Can we all agree?
That's the way you said. I've called it a firewalk, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because independently of each other, we kind of basically have the same analogy. You got to walk through fire. You got to be willing to go through it. And that's the real problem for most people. As soon as they start to feel a little bit of heat, right? A little bit of heat, little Johnny says, "Oh, you missed my game." A little bit of heat. You had to work overtime, and now you got to go straight to a meeting, and so you're tired. Yeah, a little bit of heat. You worked hard to get this group going, and then they quit and went to some other company.
Can I share something to you, Gray, real quick?
Yes,
This is gonna
ma'am.
be a little bit personal, okay? But I don't believe anybody knows it here on the line. When I started this industry, my husband was like completely against me. He said, I'm in a cult, I've been scammed. All of those things that each and every one of us probably hears.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the deal. I was led by spirit. So you guys know I'm very spiritual, right? And was it the right thing to do as a wife, you know, a family person? Probably not. But what was also not right is to stay exactly where we together were. And somebody needed to make that decision at this particular moment because, you know, our son was going through chemo, you know, businesses were up and down. So at this point, I had nothing to lose. I was like, what if we win? But he did not support me at all. The first year and a half was a freaking hell. Okay. I hope you guys are ready now. Because of Elevate, he's now officially retired. In the last 2.5 years, he is a full stay-at-home dad just because I kept on walking by faith, not sight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I want to say with, you know, share with everybody online. because you know your family and friends are probably not going to support you. And it's not because you know he didn't love me or anything like that. It was protection, right? They want to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
So
You don't want to see you get hurt.
yes.
So T. Gray,
Yes, ma'am.
she's so right. You have to take the good with the bad. So
Mhm.
when I got a better story than yours. So when I got in the industry, when I first got in this industry, oh my God, my husband hated network marketing. Oh, that was the worst thing ever. He was like, this, you just letting them people run your life. They telling you what to do, you know, all of those things. You're not making no good money with this, all of that, right? So fast forward, right? I became one of the top leaders in the industry. My income surpassed his, right? At one time, it surpassed his. And he got laid off. And guess whose income had to step up, right? My income had to step up because his income went down because there was some issues going on and all of those type of things. But if I hadn't stayed the course, look what would have happened to our family. Look, if I'd have made excuses, oh, my husband don't support me, I can't do this, I can't work this business because I don't have support from my family, we probably would be out in the street right today. But I stayed the course. I took the good with the bad. I didn't make excuses. I made adjustments.
Man, man. You know what? I'm not gonna add my story to yours because then we have everybody run out of here and try to go to counseling. So we're not gonna do that today. But here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say, guys. When you are faced with that situation, because it's a common thing, right? And people have, family members may have issues for a variety of reasons, protect you, jealous of your time, whatever. But you have two choices at that point in time. And you really have the same two choices no matter what's coming at you. You can crap out or you can create volume. Which one you want, right? So for some of you guys, if you have family members that are feeling some kind of way, what you need to do is you need to get out there. You can either quit and satisfy them and kill the dream and just forget everything and say, hey, I'm going to be normal and average for the rest of my life, and that's the way I'm going to die. Or you can say, hey, you know what? In order to do something superhuman, I'm going to have to do something super special and go and create volume. And guess what's going to happen? They will come on your side. You know why? Because there's nothing like free travel around the freaking world. I'm telling you right now, by the time my kid was 19, he had more stamps in his passport because of network marketing than most adults will have in their lives, right? And so the way to satisfy your family is to create volume. They will get excited when you start to win and like Jackie said, when those checks start to come in. All right. So good stuff. Oh my God.
That's a great story, Desi.
And
Yeah.
I want to share.
You retired your husband.
Yeah.
We all have, those stories, even on this call, and I truly believe that there is no person even on this call that somebody hasn't been against them when we're really doing, business.
Mm-hmm.
Before I quit my job, my parents used to tell me, why don't you really quit this broke business? You're not earning anything. You seriously need to get back to your job. It's secured income, and all of those things. It was really hard for me at that time because everybody around me was like, you're not really going to make it. You owe money. You need to get back. You need secure money. But I was too far away from that. And the only really people that could really relate to my story and understand me were Desi and obviously the environment that we were in. So it was really tough because I had nobody to communicate this with, and this is for you that you're watching this. Communicate only with maybe your mentor or with somebody that can really understand your situation so you can really move on. You cannot ask maybe your parents to give you an advice, maybe something that they cannot understand, right? So keep it real and really ask. Or it's really, as in the Bible said, right? Seek counsel. And what it really means is seek counsel from somebody that, yeah, can understand you. And I had a lot of challenges when it comes down to that point. To add.
Man, bro, I'm telling you, see what I told you this was going to turn into a therapy session. I told you. And Tierra, do you have something you'd like to get off your chest too?
I wouldn't say it's going to be a therapy ending part. I think this would be a great ending in regards to just staying committed. And I love what Mr. Bugs always talked about, commitment to continuity produces emotional stability. And I had a conversation with one of my favorite aunts. And I remember when I first started in the industry, she was telling me what everybody else was saying, this thing isn't going to work, things of that nature. And you guys know, I'm one of those hard-headed people. If you tell me not to do something, I'm going to go and do it anyways, because I don't care what you think, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyways. But I believe this was maybe when we first started with Ibüümerang. I had a conversation with her because I hadn't sat down and talked to her for quite some time. And what motivated and what helped me move even faster was when I had my conversation with her, because we sat down and had lunch, just catching up, and she said, "I want to apologize." And typically you don't hear those type of words, especially from elders. She said, "I want to apologize." I'm like, what you mean you want to apologize? Well, look, I'm automatically thinking, what you do? And she was like, "No, I really want to apologize to you." I said, "Apologize about what? What do you apologize for?" She said, "Because I didn't believe in you. I didn't believe that you could go out there and build what you were setting out to build. I didn't believe that you could, sell the way that you were selling, because I was putting my fears and my discouragement upon you. And you didn't, lash out and, argue with me. You just went out and you did what you needed to do, and you showed me that it works." And she said, "For that, I'm proud of you." And she said, "That's why I want to apologize, because you showed me that it's possible. You showed me that it can work. I may not have understood what you were doing, but if it wasn't for you going out and doing what you did, you wouldn't have made me a believer. And now that I'm a believer, I am going to 100% support anything that you need to do moving forward with your business." So, guys, you don't need everybody to believe in what you're doing. Everybody's not going to have the vision that you have. Everybody's not going to understand the path or the journey that you're on. All that you need to do is focus on where you're going, and guess what? People are going to follow you. Trust and believe in yourself, and watch what happens. Watch the people that follow you. Watch the people that you inspire, and watch the people that you change, all because you made the decision to change. So no therapy session, but there's some excitement in the journey, but you just got to keep looking forward.
I can't believe you tried to throw the no therapy session disclaimer on the end there after you dropped a total therapeutic bomb. I mean, I'm sitting here looking for the Kleenex and the tissue, and I'm like, okay, is this Lifetime TV over here? I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. You got the apology from the elders, but that's because he was faced with two choices. He could either crapped out or create volume, and he went and he created volume. And when you create volume, the world is going to stop and it's going to take notice. This was a powerful and incredible training today. Let me ask you guys out there in the chat, did you get something out of this? Did you get something out of, and everybody's gonna, this is one of those trainings where everybody's gonna get something different. Did you get something out of this? Carolyn Wallace says, "Please move this onion." So says this is a grow-up-y session. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, good. We're glad we're able to bless you guys today with some deep stuff. I want to thank these diamonds for they didn't even know they were going to be training today. And look at what they did, right? I told you. We didn't have to give them any notice at all. We could have just said, hey, turn on your camera. And you would have got the same thing today that they gave you. So let's take our picture. Oh, the other thing that I'm extremely proud of is that, hey, we're also ending early. Boom. I love it. All right. Let's take our picture, everybody. This is going to be one for the books. And then we'll be out of here. 1, 2, 3. I just want to see how long you guys could post. All right. Anyway, love you guys. Have a
Love
great
you, ambassadors.
Let's close the month strong. And everybody make your plan to go diamond. Let's go. See you guys.